Tuesday's attack that came hours after Russia pressed ahead with updating its nuclear doctrine shows Ukraine wasted little time in making use of the U.S.-made weapons. Does this tit-for-tat gesture only mean a new page in the Ukraine crisis? We're joined by Dr. Youngshik this morning. Welcome. So Ukraine launched U.S.-made missiles just hours after Russia announced its updated version of the doctrine. Now, would you say the new doctrine is of no concern to Ukraine?
Of course, it's a great concern for Ukraine, but at the same time, as the analyst at the Channel House clearly explained, that Ukraine's priority is to seize as much strategic assets and territorial, assets before there will be a ceasefire negotiations taking place in conjunction with the inauguration of the new president of the United States, Donald Trump, on January 20th next year. So there's no strategic needs for Ukraine military to waste any time to test the willpower of the Putin government of Russia with the newly revised nuclear doctrine, as well as attempts to gain any strategic benefits by launching ATACMS authorized by the Biden administrations to hit any targets inside the Russian territory this time.
So it's no surprise that Ukraine went ahead with those strikes on Tuesday. Then is the doctrine any threat to or alarm to Western countries which have been backing Ukraine, or it won't bother them at all? What do you think?
It would bother the NATO member countries, including the United States, but at the same time, there's no sense of alarm on the part of the United States or the European members of NATO country at the current moment, because we have not witnessed any critical changes with regard to the nuclear doctrine or posture, the deployment of nuclear assets by Russia. So there is a gap between, deployment of nuclear assets by Russian military and the revision of the nuclear doctrine just announced by the President Putin. Of course, the new nuclear doctrine lowered the tipping point for the use of nuclear weapons by Russia in two ways. One is that previously, the use of nuclear weapons was only to be made in response to an attack that threatens the survival of the state of Russia. But now the threshold is lowered to any attack that poses a critical threat to Russia's sovereignty and territorial integrity, including the territorial integrity in the Kursk region, currently occupied partially by Ukraine military. And the second revision is for the first time, the new doctrine declares that the right to use nuclear weapons by Russia against a state without nuclear weapons, but if that state is, supported by a nuclear power state, such as the United States. But once again, these are only doctrines, not actual changes of nuclear posture or deployment by Russian military.
So that is why the new updated version is more of a threat to maybe Western countries. But let's talk about the attack on Tuesday. Why target the Bryansk border region? I mean, why not the Kursk region that we all are aware of, where North Korean soldiers are currently stationed?
Well, targeting the manpower mixed with Russian soldiers and North Korean troops may serve some strategic and military goals for Ukraine military, but there's no Russian command post or other important strategic assets located in the Kursk area writ large. And at this early stage of the use of the ATACMS missile, it is important to test its reliability, and it is useful for Ukraine military to attack the Bryansk warehouses, which housed artillery ammunition and including North Korean ammunition for their systems, guided aerial bombs and anti-aircraft missiles, and ammunition for multiple launch rocket systems. So it is a priority for the Ukrainian military to use these ATACMS missiles, not for the purpose of decapitating the command post of Russian military in the Kursk area, which is a very broad region, but gaining specific strategic gains by eliminating the artillery ammunition, basically the weapons provided by North Korea this time.
Right. Alrighty, Professor Dr. Bong, thank you so much for sharing your insight with us this morning. We appreciate it as always.